You know, I was planning on talking about Rebels episodes last week. I thought I'd wait till the next day and think about it more and then record a video, put it up. Because I've recently found my gateway into being consistent on my YouTube videos. And so I'm going to start implementing that on this channel. So for everyone that is here, great. For all the people that will start coming here, you the best. So I figured, though, since this is another gateway to make me guarantee to get some stuff out to you guys, I would just go for it. So I'm here to talk about the Rebels episodes that came out tonight. Mainly about the second episode, which I have to look at the name of it again, which I think was A World Between Worlds, if I'm not mistaken, was the name of it. World Between Worlds and Wolves in a Door. Okay, Wolves in a Door. Basically, shout out to Andy Gutierrez, of Rebels Recon and the Star Wars show because not only do I really enjoy both of those shows, I enjoy everything that Lucasfilm does for the most part, but I realized that I wish I could as efficiently summarize the episode and what happened, and I kind of almost just want to be like, hey, take this clip, drop it in, but that's not my property, so I can't do that. But basically, to give a summary of what happened in those episodes, Ezra and the remaining members of the Ghost Crew, shout out to my boy Kanan, end up going to the Lothal Jedi Temple. They go to the Jedi Temple and they're Ezra and Sabine get down to the ground level and they start looking at the paintings and stuff, and what they see is the paintings of the gods from the Mortis trilogy of episodes, trilogy episodes from season 3 of the Clone Wars, which was the father, the son, and the daughter. So the three of them are now intertwined back into the story. But basically what ends up happening is Ezra and Sabine figure out how to use the Force to open up this door in this gateway, and Ezra goes through it. Once Ezra goes through it, he finds that the world between worlds links everything. It's the Force, at least this is my definition of it. I'll get into that later, actually. But basically, goes to this place with the world between worlds where he has access across all of time. And with that, we're hearing so many different sound effects of different voices, lines from all over Star Wars. And eventually what he ends up having is he finds this portal that links to Malachor, and he saves Ahsoka. After saving Ahsoka, he and Ahsoka then have to escape the Emperor, because the Emperor is also now trying to tap into the gate, and they escape just in time, and they escape away, and the Jedi Temple's enclosed, and Ezra and Hera both say their final goodbye to Kanan without him actually being there. Well, I think what I think was most interesting on a side note, just when I get celebrated with Kanan, is that Kanan Force Ghost kind of was there. He was highlighted like a Force Ghost, but I'm not sure if he was a Force Ghost. I'm not sure if he can keep it. I don't know. Did the Loth Wolves tell him? I don't know. This episode, okay, I want to jump back to, that was to say 2008, 2009, 2010. 2010. 2010 was the year when I thought Star Wars fans were most divisive about stuff. Coming from the Clone Wars TV series, coming from the Mortis trilogy. We come to 2017, there was The Last Jedi. I'm going to have a video about that way later that I planned, because I've went on a total journey with that film that I kind of just want to share with people, because I think it's just a lot of fun talking about Star Wars, and I like talking and sharing that with people, and I think I just kind of want to get my thoughts out about that film in a public space, I guess. I don't know. There's something I guess about us as people now, and having these outlets of YouTube and social media to talk. Anyway, different topic. Last Jedi was divisive, of course, but this is something that I think is going to open up a huge can of worms in terms of fan perception of it. I personally think that it is a really cool way to do the goal of what Dave Filoni said, what he wanted to do storytelling wise, which was to show that across all mediums and forms, that Star Wars, television, the Clone Wars, Rebels, the movies, the prequels, the original trilogy, the sequel trilogy, it's all connected and all one big thing, in case you didn't know. So technically the only reason why Ahsoka is alive at the end of season 2, when you see her walking down into the temple, is because Ezra saves her. Ezra, that was the coolest part, I think, of the episode, at least. Not the coolest part of the episode, like the coolest thing to actually get to see was the rest of her and Vader's fight. Her and Vader fight and finish off their fight. And right as Vader's going to deliver the final blow, also Ahsoka like stabbed the bottom of the temple to create cracks into where Vader was going to fall. But right as he's going to swing through, Ezra pulls her through the portal. And that's just insane. And the reason why I say it's insane is because it opens up this whole big thing now of like, what, I mean, just it opens up this whole thing of like, there's so many different possibilities of what can happen with that. And it's really weird, but like, it's really cool, and it's really interesting, and just anything is possible. I love it. I kind of love it personally. There's something just really neat about, and I think that's my favorite thing that's come out of the television of Star Wars, is that it's a lot of spiritual creativity and mysticism with the Force. Like, I always like the Morris episodes. I have tons of people that I know hate them, but I always liked them. One, because they were from George, and two, that's a weak reason. But like, I thought it was a very interesting concept that George Lucas came up with. Like, I mean, most of Star Wars. But then I thought it was a really interesting way and an interesting thing that happened that some of the events the characters don't remember at all. And I mean, it's also a fun play and a thing of like the sun, this whole thing I'm talking about, the future by its nature can be changed. I think that's the line. And it's interesting because the whole situation, shout out to Matt Martin liking my tweet. I appreciate it. It makes me feel great every time it happens. It's just, man, I don't even know what to say. I'm just at a loss of words for it. I mean, it's just such a cool concept, and I just don't think I can get over that. I mean, the thing is that anything is possible, and the ideas of anything can happen from it is what is really interesting, because there's the whole fact that, like, I mean, look, the Luke Skywalker fanboy in me that wants Luke to be alive, and I did be like, so what you're saying is Luke could maybe be alive because the portal, and someone through time pulled him through the portal. So Luke's alive. I mean, but that's what's. But I guess to me the other interesting parts of this is, to me, I guess this somehow something I thought I was about tweeting at Rebels Recon a couple of weeks ago was a question about, and this involves the door. I was going to say the stuff in season 2 with Ezra and Yoda talking to each other face to face. Is that any way similar to what Luke and Rey and Kylo Ren were doing? And what I think it is, this is just a side note of like the Force and how it works, is that in my opinion and based off my interpretation of it, I would believe that what is happening is that the user of the Force, so like Luke, for example, is acting as a conduit, is acting as that door to a world between worlds, to then commune through the Force to another manifestation. But I don't know. I'm just making stuff up as I go. But it does it work? Does it work? But man, one final lesson, like Ezra says. Right in this episode, I think the coolest thing is that, once I get past the cool factor, walking away from this episode, the biggest thing that we as viewers get is the lesson that we learn with Ezra, which is a lesson I think is also key to what is being done with this, is that yes, you can like change and alter things, but like doing that can potentially alter the outcome. So, for example, if Ezra tried saving Ahsoka before she got them away and got them to safety, and she fought off Vader. Sorry, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I needed to study for an accounting thing, but I didn't. So, and I'm doing this now. So, um, if like when Ezra was thinking he was going to go and save Kanan, which I actually thought they were going to do, which would have kind of made me mad. So I've been like, we just ruined it. His death was just kind of ruined now, which is the same thing someone would say about Luke. So I mean, okay, I'm backing off. I'm backing off. Hands up. I know it ain't working. It's fine. Anyway, with that moment, if we realize that like you have to learn though what Yoda taught, you have to learn to let go of everything you fear to lose. Ezra, through with the help of Ahsoka, learns his not his final lesson, but learns one of his big final lessons, which is that like he has to let go of Kanan. He can't save Kanan because if he saves Kanan, it's kind of like what Yoda says to Luke in Empire. Like when Luke says, well, I need to go save them, and Yoda says, if you honor what their sacrifice is, and then he says, and Luke's like, and let Han and Leia die, and he's like, if you honor what they're sacrificing, I think that's the line. It's the same thing of like Ezra has the ability to save Kanan in that moment, but also, I mean, in this particular moment, if he does save Kanan, they all actually die, so it won't even matter. Which I think is the most interesting part about this, which is that you can change certain things, but it doesn't stop it from affecting the spectrum of things. I wonder if the Guardian of the World. Anyway, sorry, I'm about to get way too deep in it. I should do a whole separate video talking about the possibilities from that because my mind's just running rampant with things, and that's the coolest thing I think about the story group and about storytelling with Lucasfilm at this point in time is that the storytelling, the ability now to not the ability, sorry, but the writers and the creators that they have are crafting so many interesting stories that just make your brain just think. And that's my biggest thing with me as like a filmmaker and as a storyteller is I want to tell stories that impact people and make people think, whether it's making them think about their emotions or it's making them think about like different elements and plot points and making them relate to a spiritual side of them because I'm religious and spirit, that Catholic, so spirituality is a thing in my life. But yeah, I mean, it's just very interesting because we get to see Ezra have another moment of growth, and now it all comes down to one final thing, one final lesson. And yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Thrawn, I think, will be back in next week's episode. Well, Thrawn for sure will be back in next week's episode. The clones are back. Rebels is coming to an end next week, guys, and not sure if we're all ready for it, but. One thing is for sure, there will always be more Star Wars content. There will always be more stories to be told. And let's see what stories are going to be left to tell. The way this Rebels recon made it seem is that Ahsoka's story, there's more. There's way more to be told. And the only thing I will say is that if Ahsoka is alive, and that there are more stories to be told with Ahsoka, she lives past the season final. She doesn't die before A New Hope. Everyone's going to get mad about the whole, when gone am I, the last of the Jedi, will you be, passing what you have learned, line from Yoda. But all I got to say is this. Somewhere in here, somewhere, between whatever happens to her at the end of this and whatever happens to her before she dies, if she dies anywhere after Return of the Jedi, if she and Luke don't bump into each other once, I think that'll be a wasted opportunity. That may be the fanboy in me saying that, though. So, that may not be me going, what's good for storytelling. So, you gotta separate the two sometimes. Anyway, I just talked for like 15 minutes about these Rebels episodes. Oh, they blew my mind. Not blew my mind. Well, yeah, they blew my mind. They were freaking... I need to go study. So... until next time, guys, been the Force with you always, and side note, real quick, I just digged hearing lines from Rey, Kylo. Well, I thought what was interesting was the Rey line that I heard specifically at first was the "We will see each other again," which is the line she says to Finn at the end of the Force Awakens. It's just a random choice of a line, not anyway. There are lines pulled from all the films: Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Which actually, no, I'm kidding. 9 hasn't even been filming yet. Come on, y'all. Also, to all the people that think like that they're making, because here's the thing that I think is also going to come with the backlash: is people are going to go, "Oh yeah, they're only doing this because they want to make it to where they can correct all the mistakes with the prequels and with Episode 8." When it comes to Episode 8, guys, let's get one thing straight. This storyline that was being written was written way before all the fan backlash came out. So, let's stop with that. Y'all gotta understand the idea of a pipeline in terms of workflow. In terms of, anyway, I'm not gonna educate y'all right now. I gotta go educate myself for this test. Y'all have a great night. Long live Star Wars. Shout out to everyone that worked in these episodes. I mean, it's great. I can't wait to see where Lucasfilm goes with their storytelling next. And I hope you guys look forward to the content I will start just putting on this channel just for funsies. All right, y'all have a great night. I'm getting tired because I'm acting loopy. Peace. I'll see y'all around later. Bye.